Lewis getting arrested
He did get arrested.
in the lead up to his fight. I mean, quite funny also to mention that we thought this fight card was taking place last weekend.
We did,
so we
yeah.
kind of broke the whole thing down last weekend.
As much as
But-
we kind of know.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
obviously we've told this before. We're not the biggest analytic people. We're just fans of the fight game. you know?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
we completely somehow managed to think that it was last weekend.
Well, I think both of us, like we discussed earlier, there's not much interest in this card.
No.
Like the main event it's a good main event, but other than that, there's not really anything else that's drawing me
There's
into.
not much depth.
No, I'm still gonna watch it. 100% still
Yeah,
gonna watch
same.
it, and I'm gonna learn a lot. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know about these dudes.
There's Derrick Lewis, obviously his balls was hot and we all know him. Almeida, he's doing pretty well. He's looking pretty good. But yeah, we'll get into that later. What do you think of Lewis getting arrested? That's pretty crazy on a fight week.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want to happen in the week leading up to you fighting someone. But I mean, if I had a Lamborghini, which
A red one.
I very may well have a Lamborghini. I haven't disclosed that information yet to
Yeah, who are
our
you?
viewers. But
Who are you?
I'm just an exotic car collector. But
I'm
no,
just an exotic car.
I'm just an
Leave it
exotic
there.
car. I'm just a Ford Escort ready to punch you in the face. I'm no, but 136 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone, a bit risky.
It is a bit.
I mean, you kind of deserve to be pulled over and arrested at that
do.
point.
I mean, I've heard some people talking about it. I think it was Ben Askren and Daniel Cormier, and they were debating about it. And if it's on like an open road, because he lives in Texas, maybe it's like, out somewhere like on an open, kind of more rural area road, and he's just sending it down the road for a bit of fun, and he's done it 100,000 times before, and it's never been an issue.
That's a lot of times.
That is a lot of times. He's an old guy, He's
Yeah,
getting
he's
on.
38.
But like, if it's just like this out of the blue thing, obviously maybe he does that. He's a car guy. He's got a Lamborghini.
Mm.
If I had a Lamborghini, I would be doing that all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, man, like you say, but I mean, like,
It's risky.
aren't there rural kind of roads 60 miles per hour? Isn't it? It's like I don't know. Either
130
way,
is
it's
a lot.
like it's very fast. It's more impressive than anything.
Yeah. And he's a heavy guy. Like,
It's a heavy guy.
good on that
But
car.
yeah, that car, that is a lot of load on all of the, the mechanical kind of instruments going on there. Like,
Absolutely. A lot of load. Big load. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Lewis. I mean,
do you know what it would have been? He would have had a full outfit on. He would have been in pants and everything, and he would have just wanted to get home, strip off, and just air his balls out.
yeah, his balls was probably hot when it was happening. Be fair to him,
It's a common problem.
for him especially.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting to. Yeah, Derek does have a problem with cooling those balls.
He does. It must be some genetic thing, maybe. I don't know, but so I fully understand why.
Mm.
We'll put it down to a pass. Maybe just figure that kind of stuff out. That like, don't do it on a fight week.
Yeah.
Why did he have to do it on the week that he was fighting?
Like the thing, if he like goes like, if it was a week after his last fight, after knocking someone out in 33 seconds, I'd be like, yeah, I'd probably do a celebratory thrashing of the Lamborghini as well. But
It's not like
yeah,
he's got anything coming up.
like you say, yeah, lead up to the fight, it's quite risky.
Hmm.
Maybe it was. I was talking to you just before we started, just before we hit record, on how Lewis was in I think it was a Fox article this week, talking to a journalist saying that he didn't even know this fight was in Brazil, and he got tricked into taking the fight. Maybe he was just trying to get arrested and get out of having to.
Could have been. He
fulfill
doesn't want to go to
the
Brazil, does he?
contract.
So, yeah. He turned into a bit of a Chow Son in there with like the whole Brazil hate article that we were talking about.
I
he
don't
wasn't
think it's
hating
so.
on him.
Yeah, he wasn't so much hating on Brazil. I think he was
Well,
just
just a bit
hating
of
on the
fun.
amount that he gets paid compared to fighting in the US.
Yeah, the
But
tax.
at
and
the
all
same
that.
time, if you're campaigning that hard to get a fight and calling the UFC constantly, and then they give you a fight and you don't ask any questions and you just sign the paperwork, then you've got to expect that.
Kind of got to get over.
Yeah, if it comes back and bites you in the
Yeah.
ass, then well,
But to be fair, it's
That's
Derrick
your
Lewis.
bad.
He's probably not being.
that's true.
You've got to consider that. I mean, he's probably being kind of serious, but man's the funniest guy.
He's
in the
he's
world.
hilarious.
Like, he's just so naturally funny and self-aware about like who he is, and he's just brilliant. I love him.
So
I
many great
absolutely love him.
one-liners.
Yeah, every single press conference is something new, and it's just he's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the fight,
It's yeah, it's an exciting one. Any Derrick Lewis fight is an exciting one.
yeah.
And that's a crazy stat about Derek that I also read this morning is he has the record after this fight. He will have the record for the most UFC headlines of pay per view events. Well,
Of
UFC,
events.
yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
events without being a champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Obviously,
So
he's challenged once, but he was unsuccessful.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, without being a well, was he the
Nah, nah,
no?
nah. He fought for the interim against Cyril.
That's right. Yeah, very boring fight.
It was, he got dominated. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's the thing with Lewis. It's either insane knockout,
Hmm.
like insane knockout, not just like a normal knockout or TKO. It's an insane knockout, or he gets dominated and does absolutely nothing.
It's
It's
almost
like there's
like
two sides.
yeah, it's almost like when there's no pressure on him. Like when it's not a well, I mean, any fight is a kind of
Yeah,
pressure
I know what you
environment,
mean.
but when when it's not a championship fight or it's not a a
A
big
big one.
fight, something that's going to get him into championship contention. He goes in there, he looks loose, he throws his weapons without like looking too hesitant and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, he normally gets out of there in the first
Yeah,
round a lot of the time
yeah, yeah.
with a
Like
very impressive KO. But yeah, as soon as you put him in there against someone that is it is for a title or it is
title
for
eliminator kind
yeah,
of
or
thing.
if it's a title eliminator kind of match, then yeah, you can
Yeah,
really see the pressure
yeah.
wears on him.
It seems to, yeah. I mean, there's been times that he's been able to get it done, like Blades, for example. That
Hmm.
was a big win. But then when it comes to the likes of his DC title shot, he couldn't do anything against Cyril Gahn for the interim.
Hmm.
He kind of falls apart.
Yeah,
And I think as well, you've got to say something about like he isn't the most technical guy, and when someone comes in who is so technical,
yeah,
they just overwhelm him,
that's
and
right. Yeah, that's
they are.
that's another good point. And Cyril Garner is that guy.
Yeah, he is.
That
And
is.
striking for sure, and DC for wrestling. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do against Almeida, who's been looking really impressive. Obviously, a bit of an up and comer in the heavyweight division.
Yeah,
Super impressive. Amazing jiu-jitsu. Pretty good takedowns, wrestling. I think his average fight time in the UFC is 3 minutes. Got 100% finish rate so far, so
am. So this
pretty
is
crazy.
yeah, kind of. It's the jujitsu guy
Mm.
finishing everyone very quickly versus the guy who manages to knock everyone out in a few
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see who gets there first.
it will. It's
And
gonna
like
go
you
one of
say,
two ways.
Almeida is very impressive in the way that he's come up.
Mm.
Like we were talking about last week, there hasn't been a lot of movement in the heavyweight division of late. So it's always nice to see someone coming through and like it's not so often you see a big guy throwing down some impressive jujitsu skills
Yeah, yeah.
in those heavier divisions.
No, yeah, it's yeah, jujitsu for sure is it's kind of hard to come by. We've had guys in the past, Frank Mir,
Mm.
even like looking at like Tom Aspinall, he seems to have pretty decent jujitsu, but it seems to more be wrestling
That's
than the
right.
big
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
It's
A
more
lot a lot of
wrestling.
these guys. I'm not saying they don't have jujitsu. I'm just saying
He has it
Almeida's
for
kind
sure.
of yeah. His main play will be getting you to the ground and making your life a living hell from there.
Yeah,
But yeah, a lot
absolutely.
of these other guys they'll like to push you up against the cage and kind of just dominate in terms of a weight battle almost.
Yeah,
Kind of just putting their weight on you, tiring you out, and yeah, just giving you a few knocks around when you're pushed up against the cage. Um,
yeah. It's cool to see this in the heavyweight
hmm,
division. It's a bit of a
yeah,
change. Yeah, I really can't think of anyone else super flash with the jiu-jitsu in the heavyweight division right now. Like say you got like your Blades, who's an excellent wrestler.
mm,
A lot of them are strikers, obviously because that's kind of a signal for the
yeah,
division, right? If you want someone to get knocked out when you watch a heavyweight
that's
fight,
right.
the ones that get to the top are often those guys.
You
um,
want someone to get knocked out
yeah, you do,
deep
you
down.
do. But a heavyweight fight just
Unless
gives
you're
you that
unless
extra.
you're a diehard fan of both of the guys that are in there.
Yeah, then you're just like, can you just? I just don't even want to watch.
Yeah.
Like Gaethje versus Ferguson, that was one of those. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, so awesome fight. There it is. But like we say, it is a bit of a it's not the deepest card. The co-main with Bonfim, the guillotine specialist, is
Hmm.
looking good.
Yeah.
Um, against Nicholas Dalby, which should be interesting at welterweight. Uh, it is what it is. He's had 3 fights. Bonfim, I think he's kind of been put in there to win. They
Yeah.
want him to win.
Yeah, it's one of those guys that they're going to push through. He shows a lot of potential and he's an exciting guy to watch. Like you say, a guillotine specialist. When you get someone like we had, that guy that fought Dan Hooker recently, who was the leg lock specialist. No,
Oh yeah,
they
that guy.
put these guys in there and they'll put them up against someone like Nicholas Delby, or they'll put them up against someone that
Bit
they
of a journeyman.
someone they feel like they can beat, and then it will be interesting to see when he gets his first like real test, because we still for the guy's name is slipping my mind, but whoever it was that fought Dan Hooker and then just gave up by sitting on his ass for like the remainder of the fight.
The thing as well with Bonfim, it's pushing into that European market obviously because he is French, I believe. Both and his brother's also fighting.
Yeah,
it's important for the UFC to build up these European guys to be able to push it.
They've done very well with that in the last couple of years. Like we saw a big success with that card that was over in France not so long ago. With Cyril Gunn and Taito Ivasa for the interim. That was an incredible fight, and the atmosphere in that stadium was unbelievable.
100%, and they probably look at that and they're like, right, we had one really big fight. There's a couple of other good fights, but we want like headliners on the undercard for when we go to France. We want like 3 big fights, including French people or other European people.
That's right. They do so well at making that happen too.
Yeah, they do.
Mexico just recently had so many Mexican fighters on there. Every time they go to the UK, it's a spectacle. Like there is so much. It's a marketing. It's just so beautiful. It's like they do so well.
They do it really well.
Yeah,
they do it really well.
It's well done.
UFC. Other than that, don't have too much to say. Interested to see how it plays out. Like we say, we'll be watching it, but right here, right now, it's probably going to be like the best card ever. That's what happens with these kind of.
I have no doubt that it's going to be a great card in terms of the quality of the fights.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about these cards is sure you might not look at the names and have a whole lot of memories come to mind in terms of things that you've seen them do before, but
up and comers.
But they're up and comers, and they're guys that you might remember from this fight card. You know what I mean? They might go in there and make a really big, have a really big moment, and really make something out of themselves. Yeah,
they might make a highlight reel. They might, this could be the one that elevates them. They kind of do these cards quite often that aren't like the deepest in terms of known fighters, but
they work out.
Obviously, they got Abus on there who got absolutely demolished by Sean Strickland. It's an interesting one. See how he does his gas tank. See if he can improve.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Actually,
other than that, it's interesting fight night. We'll see what happens. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching this short episode of Combat Corner.
If you like what you see, we've got lots of long form content below and lots of other videos like this, so feel free to go along and check it out. We really appreciate all your support. Thanks again for watching.
Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, share it around. Have a good day.
Peace.